Hey guys, the Sectional Violence here. We got Bellator on the rise, or sorry, on the twilight of their existence. Not on the rise. That's more for the PFL merger. But yeah, let's get into it. We got a fun card. Some amateurs on it too. So we'll start off with the amateurs. It's weird how you can bet on only some amateurs, but not all of them. I've always found that weird. But yeah, Nate Kelly versus Jordan Elliott. I want Nate Kelly here. They're just trying to build him, man. Like, it's quite simple. They're just trying to build him. It's a squash matchup. Not much to overthink here. But yeah, Nate Kelly, man, I think he wins this by submission, but I'm not confident. That's why I didn't touch this side with the prop. I just took Nate Kelly straight. I know it's chalk, but it makes sense because it's a squash matchup. So I didn't put a lot on it, but I do think Nate Kelly wins this. Moving on, we have Alfie Davis taking on Oscar Owensworth. Now, I like Oscar Owensworth. He's a really, really game fighter. He comes in, he sets a good pace. He does good work on the feet. He sets a good pace. He runs up the scorecards. He looks to win decisions. But you're fighting someone whose style is built for that, and he's a better striker. So honestly, I don't see how he wins this fight other than a fluke decision. I think Alfie Davis has him covered here. Yeah, it's quite simply an Alfie Davis fight. Not much to overthink here. Alfie Davis by decision. Moving on, we have Luke Trainer taking on Grant Neal. Now, honestly, I'm really torn with this fight because I like both guys. Luke Trainer has his own skill set where he's long, cerebral, very, very good at being long and using his long limbs as an advantage for his submissions, for his strikes. He's very, very effective with what he does. But the thing is, you're fighting someone who does like take the space away in Grant Neal, who likes to wrestle. It's a very, very close matchup. I think it should be 50-50, so I do understand why the value is on Luke Trainer's side, but I just can't get behind a Trainer bet, honestly. I'm going to have to go with Grant Neal here. I think Grant Neal covers him here. He out-wrestles him. He lands the bigger shots. I'm going to have to go with Grant Neal here, winning a decision. But it is a very close fight. Moving on, we have Isaiah Pinson taking on Abraham Babley. Now, honestly, I'm torn with this fight again because originally I thought, no, Isaiah Pinson, he's a dog. He's gonna push the pace. He's gonna get in Babley's face. But honestly, I can't tell you guys to go bet on Pinson because Babley has what Pinson's biggest weakness is grappling. And honestly, if you're in 2024 and you don't have a good get-up game, I do worry about you. So for that reason, I'm going to lean the side of Babley, but I'm not confident anymore on this fight. So I'm just going to pass altogether. I do have a little play on Pinson, but honestly, I arbed out of half of it just so I could, lower the loss if he does lose. I just don't have any interest in this fight anymore. I did when it initially came out, but now I don't, so it is what it is. Hopefully, Pinson gets the win, but I'm not expecting much with this one. Moving on, we have Nathan Kelly taking on Vikas Singh Ruhal. I'm not even going to get into it. It's Indian MMA, man. Like, what do you want from me? Like they have a few prospects, like, when they, like, cross-train. Like, we have one at Niagara Top Team. We have one at, there's one at, like Anshul Jubilee, he cross-trains. But the problem with this is Vikas does not cross-train. He is, I believe, strictly out of India. Like, you can't get much better over there. So it's like Nathan Kelly, he's going to run him over. He's going to submit him. He's going to, in my opinion, submit him. But if he gets a TKO, I'll be pretty annoyed, but it is what it is. I got to limit my props, and this is why. Because I thought Nathan Kelly by sub was an automatic, but he has a few TKOs, and seeing Vikas, I don't know, his only path to victory seems to be submission. So TKO actually starting to make sense. Of course, Bull takes the props away when we catch on to their little trick. And yeah, it is what it is. He's got a few wins by submission, and honestly, I really hope he gets submitted. But it's a weird line. I should have paid for the TKO. There's better value there, but it is what it is. Nathan Kelly by submission or TKO rounds 1 or 2. Quite simple. Moving on, Ciaran Clark versus Darius Maffey. Now, this fight on paper looks pretty linear. Ciaran Clark's a big prospect. Very good grappling. The problem with this is Ciaran Clark has very, very suspect chin. Has a very, very suspect chin. And honestly, I could see him getting chinned here somehow. But Darius is just, his punches are just not snappy enough to where I'm going to worry about him. So I'm going to go with Clark here by submission. Rounds 2 or 3, but honestly, this is a fight that I just don't want to bet on. The chalk is just ridiculous, and I have no interest in it. So I'm gonna go with Clark by submission, but I'm not touching the spot. Yeah, Darius Maffey, he's a decent fighter, but he's just not at the level of Ciaran Clark unless he catches them on the feet. Yeah. Moving on, though, we have Leandro Higo versus James Gallagher. I like Higo, man. I think he's very, very serviceable. He's got, decent striking, really good grappling, and he's got some good wins. He's submitted Nikita Mikhailov. He's faced Danny Sabatillo, a good wrestler. He submitted Ricky Bandejas. He edged out a decision with Caldwell because, he had the more damaging... he's got good cardio and he can take guys into deep waters. James Gallagher does not have great cardio, and he's been historically known as a bit of a fraud. He's decent, don't get me wrong. He's got some decent grappling, but I just think Leandro Higo is going to be a step above him in the grappling, and I think he's going to find a submission later. But maybe he wins the decision. I don't know. This is a close fight. I can see it going either way, but I'm going to go with Higo here. I lean Higo. Moving on to another close fight. We got Tim Wilde versus Manuel Sosa. Honestly, man, when I originally saw this fight, I was like, Manuel Sosa went life or death with a guy who's, deaf and not that good. But the thing with that is the guy's tall and hard. Those guys are hard to fight. So I'm going to just take that as a weird style he had to fight, and it just made him fight weird. But he is a very good fighter, and for that reason, I've had to arbitrage out of my initial dog shots I took on Wilde, just because, man, I don't have the same confidence as I once did on this. It's just I've played devil's advocate for Manuel, and man, he has a finishing upside, and honestly, it could happen. But I'm gonna still go with Wilde here. He's faced better competition. He's very, very he's very, very cerebral, very, very good on the feet, good grappling or decent grappling, and honestly, unless he gets subbed or TKO'd, I don't see him losing a decision. So I'm going to go with Tim Wilde here. He knows how to put together a solid 15 minutes. But this is a really risky fight to bet on, and honestly, I could see this going very slow. So I did get out of my position on the dog shots, but I still have a little position on him as a pick'em. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know exactly if I'm going to keep it or not. We'll find out. The VIPs I'll let you guys know. So moving on. Fabian Edwards versus Aaron Jeffrey. Aaron Jeffrey is going to be beating the crap out of Fabian Edwards, in my opinion. Honestly, this is a very biased opinion of mine. You guys know it's my guy, Aaron. But, man, Fabian, he can be broken. And I think Aaron can do that. Now, the question is, can he do it in 3 rounds? And I honestly think so. I think he can do it within the 3 rounds. He can set a high pace. A lot of dirty clinch work. I think Aaron is just a better all-around mixed martial artist. But honestly, this is a close fight because Fabian is a really good striker, and he can make this very close by just being a specialist, staying on the feet, picking his shots. It's only if Aaron respects his striking, because if Aaron respects his striking, it could be a long night. But I don't think he will. Aaron's faced a lot more dangerous strikers before, or not a lot more, but he's faced dangerous strikers before. I'm going to go with Aaron here. I just feel like Aaron's the upside. He's got the cardio. He's got the dog in him. Fabian has got the skill, but does he have the dog in him? We don't know. Charlie Ward going not life or death, but taking him to a decision is not a good look. So I'm going to go with Aaron Jeffrey here. I think this is a good dog shot, and we'll see what happens. Moving on, we have Jeremy Kennedy taking on Patricio Pitbull. I want Pitbull, man. I just don't. I think Kennedy's good and all, but he's going to put himself in a lot of submission area. And I just think Patricio has a very good chance of getting the submission. I think Patricio has a very good grappling game, good guillotine, deadly KO power, so you could get a club and sub even. I'm gonna lean Patricio by submission, but honestly, the odds are like moving towards money line area, so I can understand a money line bet over a prop bet, but it's a close fight. If it goes to a decision, I can see Jeremy stealing it. So I'm gonna go with Patricio by submission. It seems to be his main path to victory, but we'll see what happens here. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked to see Patricio get dominated in the wrestling. So we'll see how it goes. But I don't think he'll have too many problems here. Moving on, we have Corey Anderson versus Carl Moore. Carl Moore is a former roid head that got caught from PFL. I don't know if he's still on the sauce. Probably is, but we'll see. Corey Anderson, Carl Moore can get up, but that's his best attribute. He gets taken down decently easy, and Corey Anderson has good wrestling. So I'm going to go with Corey Anderson by decision. Could he get chin? Maybe, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Corey Anderson is going to be too experienced and too game to lose to Carl Moore. I'm going to go with Corey Anderson by decision. I think that's probably one of the safer spots in the card. We'll see what happens though. It's never really safe with Corey Anderson. But let me give you guys my top 5 picks, and we'll get out of here. So number 1 pick, Nathan Kelly Sr. By senior, I mean the one that's fighting the Indian man. Where is he? Yeah, right here. Number 2, we got the baby Nathan Kelly. This is a squash matchup for him. Number 3, I have to add Davis. Davis is number 3. Number 4 would be Corey Anderson. And number 5 would be Aaron Jeffrey. Alrighty, guys. Like, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll see you next time. I'm out. Oh, man. I'm so excited to get to the fights.